think the reason most of us come to meditation is we're having trouble balancing, you
Right.
know, and I was a single mom with a couple little kids and working. And, for me, I think it was mostly a feeling that I was looking for more meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a very meaningful life. I was a social activist, so I was always out making the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And yet it felt like we weren't really getting anywhere.
Okay.
And I think for me, I discovered that, fighting for peace doesn't create peace. And I was becoming less peaceful,
All right.
actually, and a little more frustrated, a little more dissatisfied with my
Right.
own life, with my own reactions to the
Mm-hmm.
world. And I wasn't seeing the world becoming a better place. I
Mm-hmm.
was seeing it going down.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a combination of things came together. And really, it was a lucky chance for me that I found
Mm-hmm.
meditation. I tried a Buddhist approach. I'd been to the Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a variety of places. And this Raja Yoga meditation
Mm-hmm.
by the Brahma Kumaris literally kind of just hit me over the head. I had this experience, and then
Right.
I ended up following through in the meditation as somebody who is not a sitter, somebody whose mind is very active
Yeah.
and who likes to move. So I
Right.
wasn't really the right fit for meditation.
Or at least that's what you
At
thought
least
when
that's what I thought.
when
And
you
everyone
began.
else I saw seemed really
Right?
peaceful, kind of
Yeah.
hippie-like,
Yeah,
and that
right.
wasn't me. So I think what I discovered really quickly is how uh, it was just like reclaiming my own mind.
Mm.
And it was like pulling the energy of my own thoughts back so that I could use that energy as I wanted, when I wanted. So I think
Mm.
ultimately I became more focused, I became more insightful. And as a
Mm-hmm.
consultant, people hire you for your insight. And it
Okay.
used to be that I had, a smarts, I had intelligence I could offer people,
Right.
but I wouldn't say, I mean, I was always deep and I had some insights, but I would say now what I'm able to offer is to see into something much deeper than they can see. And that's enormously valuable, especially for senior leaders. And so it used to be the tools, the processes,
Mm.
the training, the
Mm-hmm.
facilitation. Now, actually, it's an observation, seeing into something in a way that they aren't able to see, and how
Mm-hmm.
precious that is.
Yes.
And so I can do that with my kids.
Yeah.
I can do that with clients. I can do that with myself. I can see into what's going on inside of me in a way that saves me from a week's worth of agitation or worry or angst,
Right.
you know?
Yes. And I
And so
love
I
what you
quite quickly,
right.
then I'm done with it. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's what that is. Fine. Okay,
And I
onwards.
right. And I love what you said that meditation has helped you reclaim your mind. No? So
Mm.
what does that exactly mean? Like reclaiming. Of course, we all know we have a mind, but reclaiming that. What
Mm.
exactly and what steps it took to be able to reclaim the mind and the meaning that it had to you
Hmm.
practically.
Well, being an activist, a lot of my energy was going out.
Okay.
And so I discovered with this meditation that the quality of the energy that I send out now is higher quality. So it has an effect in a more subtle way, but quite a stabilizing way. And that came, I think, because I realized that my own mind was a field or a forum in which I was practicing inner activism.
Okay.
So it's like all those thoughts that I sent out, worried about husband or worried about friend, or am I as I good as I should be, or
Mm.
so the kind of doubts and worries and
Mm-hmm.
just where your thoughts go when you're not in charge of them. They seem to
Mm-hmm.
go everywhere but yourself, and they're not fruitful. So it's
So,
wasted energy.
uh-huh.
So I think I've learned that I have a starting point inside myself, which is the Raj Yoga approach, the soul at the center of the forehead. But actually, it's a very quiet, peaceful experience to pull my energy in behind the noise
All
into
right.
the silent observer.
And would you say that in the process you were also reclaiming peace and happiness? It's
I wouldn't
like,
say I ever felt I had any of those.
yeah.
Let's say I
And
was
then oh,
discovering
discovering.
peace and
All
happiness.
right.
I understand that I'm
Uh-huh.
reclaiming something that was within me.
Yes.
But the experience
Right.
was, wow, this is new. I really like this.
Oh.
Now,
So it was like,
I think we
yeah,
understand that we're awakening an old memory.
right.
But the experience is just suddenly I feel a bit quieter inside. Suddenly
And you discovering
I feel
something.
peace.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm able to stay stable when everyone around me is getting
Mm-hmm.
upset.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's the result of a daily practice. You don't get that overnight.
Yes,
It's
that's right.
like drop by drop, every day, every minute or so I spend in that,
Mm-hmm.
intentionally in that place, that inner experience, then it accumulates. And then suddenly you
Time.
realize one day, gee, I'm not responding at
Yeah,
all the way I
yeah.
used to this very
Right.
same
Uh-huh.
provocation, very same trigger. So, yeah, I find it's just a lovely accumulation journey. And for one who's been a bit of a high achiever, to think that I'm accumulating something is
Mm-hmm.
quite satisfying.
Right.
I'm accumulating peace. I'm
And while
accumulating
you're
silence.
saying that, do you think everyone's capable of that? Or does it take a
No, there's
special
just a
time,
handful of
a
four of us,
special
really.
guru, or yeah, what is it?
No, there's just a handful of 4 or 5 people in the world who could do that. I'm kidding. Yes, yes, yes. I think everyone can do it.
Yeah.
But the question is, how much do you want
How
it?
much you want it to be
And I
ready for
didn't
it?
know I wanted it
Uh-huh.
until I experienced it.
You're right.
And then I really wanted it. And so I'm willing. I mean, for me, my morning meditation is not always spectacular. I don't always arrive at a place of deep peace.
Yeah.
But I still have made the time every morning to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I make the effort when I arrive to just connect with myself inside that quiet place that I now know exists. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't know it existed before. And now that I know it's there, I go. It's like an old friend. It's waiting for me. I show up and I sit. And even though it's not always what people might think is great technicolor visions or things, I've discovered that actually meditation is about a more subtle experience of energy, my own energy, the energy that's going on around me. And so it's just a quiet time, and it's really precious. And
Yeah.
it's like somehow my life has organized itself around this quiet time. I mean, I started meditating when the kids were 2 and 5 years old, and I was a single mom. So I don't know anyone who has kids knows that after school, after supper, we call it arsenic hour. That's
Okay.
the hour where everything falls apart in the home, right?
You're
The
right.
kids are screaming because they have all this pent up energy from their day. And,
Right.
and I just decided I was going to meditate every day at 7 o'clock.
All right.
That's the absolute wrong time for a single mom to meditate.
Yeah.
7 p.m.
Oh,
at
okay.
night because the
Yeah.
kids,
Yeah.
and I just thought, no, I'm going to do this anyways because it's important. And the first night, the kids are screaming downstairs. Are they killing each other? Well, I don't think so, but, and it was like it intensified. My life intensified the minute I decided to create
That
quiet space.
Yes.
And then, the second night, they screamed a little less, third night.
Wow.
And then finally, I think it was probably the fourth or fifth night, I stuck with it. And I went
Okay.
downstairs, and there they were, one in one corner of the house, one in the other. It was like they were having peace time. It was like they were having their own meditation, coloring, playing with Barbie dolls, whatever. But the point I discovered very quickly in my meditating experience was that if I have the determined thought to sit with it, then my life will organize around that energy because it's a stable, peaceful energy. Now, I mean, my kids are 20 and 23, and when they come home for visits and stuff, they'll say, Mom, it's 7 o'clock, aren't you going to meditate?
Oh.
Like our whole evening is organized around Mom's meditating. We'll either eat before or after.
Okay.
We'll go on our outing before or after. And imagine I could never have imagined that happening to me
But it did.
as a single mom with a couple of wonderful kids and a
Right.
job.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot to be said for how much do you want it?
And you wanted it, and
I
you
really
got
wanted it, and I
experience.
got it, and I like it. So, for those who haven't experienced it yet, though, I do think it's in each of our good fortune, I suppose, that we discover ourselves at a meditation center, or we go and try it out. We say, well, I'd like to try it out. Let me at least give it a chance, and see what happens.
Yeah.